Hey everybody, it's Steve at Short Shift Garage. So I decided to do a comparison, and a couple of days ago I reloaded my stock tune and built up some adaptives, and finally this morning it was a little cooler than it had been. It was, it's down to the mid 90s, so I went out and decided to go get a log file off the stock tune, and so we could take a look and see what the results of the tuning that we've done really are. And this is a pretty good comparison. I'm going to switch over and bring up the log files. I have them side by side. So let me switch the desktop real quick. And this side over here is our stock tune, and then this is the tune that it was culminated from, or cultivated. I guess cultivated is a better term. This is the tune that was the result of all of our tuning efforts. So, as you can see, there are some differences. Right now, I've got it pretty close to the same RPM. That's 5,004 versus 5,005. The speed being identical is important. The accelerator position and the load is important. P ratio for comparison. Yes, there is a difference here. The barometric pressure is about a 500 of a kPa, or 5/10 of a kPa higher. So it's 87.5, we'll call it. It's 87.0 over here. That's a significant amount. And what that changes, of course, is my depression, although it's pretty close. It's not too far off. So basically, side by side, there's probably about, I don't know, if I was going to say in horsepower, I would probably say that if you do the math, it's probably off. It should be probably less by about 2 horsepower. If you're comparing apples to apples instead of apples to oranges. So I did run this. What I did is I took a complete screenshot of the whole screen. I sent it over to ChatGPT, and this is my private chat that only has all the data on my car. So it knows the vehicle. If you're trying to use ChatGPT in the raw, go out and get a pro account and create your own ChatGPT. Mine happens to be called My Car. But you create your own and then restrict it to what it can use for data. Your results will be a lot better. But let's just go look at that for the moment. So this is going to be a side-by-side comparison. This is stock, that's in tune. It's the tune version. So basically, here's the changes, these are the differences. What we ended up getting with all these, even with these small differences here, which they're significant, we ended up getting about a 6% increase across the board, pretty close to the 6% across the board. So that's a pretty good increase. So this is crank horsepower, and this is wheel horsepower. These two numbers here, wheel, those two numbers are crank. So, at my elevation, up here at 4,000 feet of elevation, these are pretty normal numbers. You're going to get probably better numbers at sea level, obviously, but at my elevation, these are pretty normal numbers. And but what's important is there an advantage to tuning a stock car, a stock 5.7 or a stock 6.1? It's small. It was a lot of work to get here. The cost in fuel alone, with all the going back and starting overs and readjusting and doing mental resets, all that good stuff. Every time you do that, you're going out and logging more data. So if you look at the cost in fuel alone, my cost in time, it wasn't worth it. Okay, but you can get an additional possibly 15 horsepower. So I'm just going to call it 15 because that's pretty close to what we would have gotten. I mean, this looks like 20 here. But if you consider these items here that are different, it's probably a little less than that. Maybe 17 would be a close number. But 15 to 17 horsepower, that's a very respectable tune. And we stayed away from our environmental conflicts. So this engine will run with this tune just as well with this tune, and it'll do it at high altitude or sea level. It doesn't matter. It'll run the same. And that's a real important thing to try to remember when you're tuning your car. How do you drive that car? If it's a daily driver and you never take it out of town, tune it to the max. If it's not, then tune it just like you were taught here. Stay out of those environmental problems. Don't push it over the edge. You'll know when you do, but this tells me here that I creeped right up to that edge, but I stayed off the cliff. Okay? All right, so am I proud of this? Yeah, we're always proud, but is it something I'm going to I didn't want that one coming up. Is it something I'm going to keep? Potentially, yeah. I'll probably put it back in, and then probably come this winter, I'll go back to my stock tune. But because the stock tune just feels better in the wintertime, so I'll do that. This is with a .0701 Stoic. I think I'm going to actually give it a little more fuel and set the Stoic back to .0709. I'd like to see it a little bit richer than 12.5. This 12.29 is too rich, so I want to hit somewhere in between there. And I think .0709 is the only mod I'm going to make on this tune. And that's just to, this is normal at 1.5 knock retard. And this knock retard is not representative of actual knock. The knock retard, when you post up your, when you go up there and you pull that channel total knock retard, that's the retard that the system puts in. So there's a half a degree in this one because of the intake air temp, which is 107.60. That's the intake manifold temp. That's not the IAT. But this one over here is 125. This one's at 107. So, I don't know. Air temp's 95 there, 79 here. Kind of interesting that those two numbers are reversed. So it was probably cooler. Anyway, it ran cooler here because it's richer. Okay, so the engine itself was running cooler, which I want to get it, maybe I'll put just a little bit higher, but I don't want to push it into environmental. So anyway, I'm going to switch back to the to my screen now, and there we are. If you see me looking up like this a lot, it's because I have bifocals. They suck. But that's what it is. All right, so the conclusion here is that, the things that you've been learning work. The methods of prudence that I constantly stress are viable. Could this car benefit from a dyno tune? No. It would not be worth the money. I would not go to spend the money to put it on a dyno and spend the days involved in tuning this car on a dyno, because I'm not sure that you're going to respect environmental issues and get anything better. I don't think you can do it. People might say they can do it, but I just don't see it happening. So that will do it for today's video. I did get an email, and I will respond to that in a separate video. And it's important, and I will. So we will talk on that subject next. Y'all take care. You have a good one. Like and subscribe, and keep on tuning. All right. Take care. Thanks a lot.